Hi everybody, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. All right, first cards that we have out, I'm looking at Death and I'm looking at Five of Wands. It looks like something is changing. There could be a little bit of a tug of war that you're feeling currently. I'm looking at the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck. This can be about sort of like what's coming up next for you. There can be a couple different feelings or like roots that are sort of forming right now as far as pathways that you could be pursuing. So it could be like I could shift things in this area, or I could shift things in this area. So it feels right now because there may not just be one main thing of like I'm expanding or I'm growing or I'm changing in this way. There could be a couple different things that are happening right now, and you could feel a sense of conflict about that. It feels like, let's say that you have multiple paths in front of you, and no matter which one you pick, there's going to be growth, there's going to be expansion, there's going to be shedding that's happening because we're starting with death. So right now, you may feel like I'm in the middle of a transition currently where there is like immense evolution happening. Five of Wands is like you had these multiple paths in front of you. Which one is sort of going to take precedence within this situation? That doesn't mean you're going to end up going down all of these. It feels just like which one is going to come out as you choosing the one that feels most important for you, or choosing the one that you're going to go down with, whatever like is motivating the choice that you're making for picking the one that you're picking. So it just feels like from things happening in a linear way, like which one of these am I going to do first, like that type of thing. So that's what I'm seeing is going on currently. So yeah, you could be feeling a little bit of being pushed and pulled energetically, but it's all going to get done. I'm seeing something about a red onion. You could be struggling a bit with like the tension or the friction that you're feeling. Like inside that something's being worked out currently. Ten of Swords is feeling like maybe you were feeling doubled over because of this. You could have been feeling like you were being pressed down so much that you couldn't really get up until a process sort of was happening. This feels like a lot that's going on inside. So if somebody on the outside, like looking in, were to be peering at you, you could feel like they would sort of be seeing the same thing. But on an internal level, you could feel like things are becoming drastically different for you. Ten of Swords is a good thing to see because it says that even though there's been something like really difficult that you've been working through, working out this conflict, like working out whatever this is that you're working out to sort of get all of the pieces of yourself on the same page, like moving in the same direction, to channel this in a way that you feel like makes it easier for you to move through this right now. Ten of Swords would show you being at the end of this, like this isn't really going to be a thing anymore because you're completing this cycle. So it shows that there's going to be a release, there's going to be an alleviation here, especially mentally. Yes, I'm seeing you be very close to completing something. Like upwards of 80% of the way with this. I think that you can look back at certain things now and be like, I should have done it this way, I should have done it that way. However, like make sure that you don't get caught in like the trap of that, of being so caught up in the past that you're not focusing on what's going on now. The benefit of being able to look back at these certain things and be like, why didn't I do it like this? Why didn't I do it like that? It would have been better if I did it that way. The only thing that's going to benefit you by doing that is if you like use this as a tool use it as a way of knowing how, if you were in a similar or same situation or any type of situation that this information would be applicable, use it as that, but don't get stuck in a way where you're not being present because of you like looking back on these things. So just keep that in mind, because I'm seeing like a lot that you're doing here, but this energy can be like, I should have put the piece over there, I should have put it over there, with this process that you're doing here, which feels very like multifaceted with this. If this is something that it took a lot of deliberate energy for you to sort of put things where you felt like they were meant to go, but you were working with what you had at the time. But there may be certain things that you're looking back at now and being like, if I were standing where I'm standing now and looking back at it and able to go back in there and reach into it, I would have like tweaked it a bit. Use this to know that if you're in another situation presently, glean the wisdom from that. That's all you need to do. That's the purpose that this will serve. Don't get stuck in the past. Or I mean, do if you want to, but the way that this will benefit you most is being able to look at it and know what you would have done differently in case you're in a similar situation. The loud noise is going to go away. It's the washing machine. Yeah, see on this Five of Cups, how at the bottom here, it looks like this is starting to be erased. I think that you needed to look back at something to recognize, like, now doing things in that way wouldn't align with where I am currently, and so I would do that a different way, which then allows you to sort of move forward with this rather than feeling like you have to stay looking at that thing and thinking about it. It's like, I'm recognizing that I would have turned left there instead of right. I'm recognizing that now. If I come up to one of those options in the pathway, that's what I'm going to do, and that's where you can leave it. So this definitely serves a purpose, but remember to pay attention to what purpose you want this to be serving, and that it's not something that ends up actually like delaying you or holding you back or keeping you stuck. Okay, having Page of Pentacles and having Seven of Wands here can feel like this transition, this change that's happening right now, that at times can be a little bit like, I wasn't done playing with that, or I don't want to let that go yet, or I still feel like I need this thing. Death is coming through and being like, give it to me, surrender it. It's meant to be helping you, and it's meant to be sort of like smoothing something that needs to be smoothed, where you feel like this sense of conflict, or like something is jagged here and it keeps like scratching me, it keeps poking into me, like that type of thing. But having Seven of Wands shows that, see how Page of Coins, this is somebody that's like, here, like I have the answer, or here, I'm trying to help, like that type of thing, just offering it. And especially in this deck too, this Page of Pentacles is a very pure looking energy. Having Seven of Wands can be like somewhat resistant to that, of like, you could be focusing on all these things over here, and this is actually going to be the thing that helps you, but you could be feeling resistant to that. And Seven of Wands can also be this feeling of like, I'm guarded, or I'm defensive because I have this thing going on that I'm trying to work out. And so I'm not recognizing necessarily immediately that this is meant to be helping me. And this thing that's meant to be helping you, it's associated with the Death card. So this is associated with something where it's like, this change is going to be really beneficial for you. It's going to be really helpful. But because of you being in a state where things are being worked out, you could be struggling right now to be open to that because you feel like a lot is coming at you. But I'm seeing this cycle is soon to be closing out. So know that if something is coming through, and it can, the way that the Death card comes through at first, it can feel like something's being snatched from you. because you have to release it. So there can be this feeling of like, again, I wasn't done playing with that, or I wanted to hold on to it, or I thought I was going to need it for this cycle, but this is meant to help you. So if you're experiencing anything feeling like it's getting pulled from you within your life, this is definitely meant to be helping you. So don't look at this like the universe is punishing me, or why is this happening, or anything like that. It's not. This is something that's meant to be benefiting you and benefiting you and your path and where you're meant to be going, and also where you're growing and expanding into. So these things that may be feeling like they're disappearing or falling away or like losing touch or connection, it's because you don't need those things right now. So that's what's happening. You're going to feel very happy at the end of this. I'm seeing 9 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Some of you too, you could have been resistant to something that would be helpful to you, but you could be opening up now at this point because the conflict became so much and you were like, I feel like this is something that can benefit me. I don't know what this was for each of you with the Page of Pentacles, but it was something that came through, or something that's coming through, may even continuously be coming through. And it's like a very, very pure energy. So this is when you're just looking at this, you take yourself away from like your problems that you're going through, or like the battle that you're currently facing, or whatever it is that you're currently working out, and you just like look at this thing in its nature. It's going to appear as something that you agree with in yourself. This is something like very pure that is coming through, that if you allow yourself to be open to it, it's going to be very helpful. However, it may be something that's like a different vibe than how you had been doing things before, or like a different pattern, or it's something that before you weren't doing and now you're going to be doing, or that you were doing and now you're not going to be doing. You know, it can be like that type of thing where this is going to feel different for some reason. And for some of you, this can also be like I always saw myself as this type of person, and so I didn't do that thing, or I did do that thing, and now that part of you is changing because it feels like the influence of the purity of something that's coming through just purely, solely to be helpful to you. Like that's why this is coming through. It has no agenda. It's just meant to be helpful to you. And this would be coming through, like how you'll know what this is. It's something that, again, like when your armor is down and you just look at this, you see it as being something very pure, that it's not trying to take anything from you. It's just like giving something to you, giving something helpful to you. It would be coming at a time when you feel like there's something that you are working out, and I'm seeing you be very deliberate with the steps that you're taking. What I'm seeing is this thing that you've been struggling with. I feel like struggling has a connotation where it's showing you're like not effectively working through something, and that's not how I mean this. I just mean there's something that you're working out. The intensity of this and the toll that it's been taking mentally, like the pressure, almost feeling at times like I can't get up, like I can't move, like this is weighing on me so heavily. I'm seeing that is very shortly going to be alleviated for you. Yeah, things are about to move very, very quickly. It's going to be moving quickly in comparison to how things were moving before, definitely. I'm seeing 8 of Wands. I will say this too, before this thing came through and was helpful, I'm just calling it a thing because I'm not sure what it is for each of you, but whatever this help is that's coming through for you, while you were like doing whatever this was that you were doing, where you knew that you were in the middle of sort of like things coming at you and you having to take certain steps, I'm seeing that this is going to give you like some type of like bump of progress, where rather than it feeling like all of this is aimed at you and you have to sort of like dodge these things or be working a certain way, where it feels like this energy is sort of like almost like attacking you energetically. it transitioning to the Eight of Wands shows that this is going to be movement that's going to be like forward movement. Like this almost feels like it's coming backwards, where you see this person and they're trying to go this way, but all these things are sort of like pushing them, where they feel like I have to move over here and then over here and then over here. This shows everything being really cohesive and going in a single direction. So this thing is going to help you harness all of that energy, and rather than it like pushing you back, it's going to push everything forward. So you're going to feel like it's an equal but opposite force, and that's what this is helping you with. So it's actually helping you like move the energy. This feels like a very powerful type of energy because the wands are connected with it. I'm seeing you be a little bit tired now at this point with Four of Cups. So, yeah, something could be moving, but at this point, where is this coming from? I want to clarify Four of Cups. Okay. I'm starting to see. You could just feel like this has been really intense, and at this point you could be like, I think I'm ready for this to be done now. I think I'm ready for this to be over with. Like things are definitely moving, so you would be like, I know stuff is happening. It's moving so quickly that I can see the progress of things, and also at the same time I'm feeling a bit depleted. So it may feel like it's taking a lot moving through this. Okay. To clarify Four of Cups, I'm seeing Ace of Cups, and I'm also seeing Six of Wands. So this feels like a very temporary thing that you're going to be feeling. You're soon going to be feeling like reconnected and like you're not moving around. The way that I'm seeing this Four of Cups almost feels like stagnant water that you had been moving through, and having this Ace of Cups come through feels like you're going to be put into like a new batch of water being like the cups and the energy, like that type of thing, like what you're feeling and what's going on intuitively for you and what you're sensing and the way that you're connected, like those types of things. So you're being removed from something that you could have felt like just stagnant, and now you're being moved to something that's going to feel really fresh. So that will be like a win for you. I'm also seeing it's going to be something that feels stable. I want to say this too, seeing Eight of Pentacles and seeing Four of Cups and then Five of Cups, there could have been something that, because it was taking a lot of work or because it was difficult or something about like putting your energy into this thing, having Four of Cups can be like turning away from that thing just because of how difficult something is feeling and being like, man, I feel exhausted right now. And then having Five of Cups can be like, I regret turning away from that, or I regret like sort of dipping out or disengaging, like that type of thing. But I'm seeing there be learning, because I don't know if this was something that was like abandoned altogether, or this was something where you were just feeling like you were getting depleted and then just like turned away, where you like left that where it was and sort of moved back from it. Having Five of Cups is like, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that, or like, why did I do it like that? Or if I knew what I know now, I would have like kept working at it, or I would have kept going with it. It can be like that type of thing. So there may be something along the lines of that that's coming up too amidst this whole process as well. I'm seeing strong Scorpio here, which has been coming out in like every reading the past week. I'm seeing High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, Three of Wands. No, you're making major progress with this. There are going to be continuous changes that are coming up. Like, you could feel like things are shifting on a personal level, but also a macro level as well. Keep in mind, this is something that's helpful that's coming up. The way that the energy is, though, for some of you, even though I'm seeing something come up that's meant to be helpful, for some of you, you may have had a similar experience. I don't know if it was the same thing or not, but something came through, it was meant to be helpful, and you could have turned it away or had regret, sort of, about something like that. And recognizing that and then sort of doing things differently. It feels almost like a repeat situation is coming up, but you get to choose it a different way this time. And I'm also seeing that this is going to help you to, like, it feels like come to terms with whatever that was that happened. So now you have something presently that's coming through that's meant to be helpful. It's also going to help bring a sense of ease and acceptance about maybe a time when something came through and was meant to be helpful in the past, and you could have not done that thing or not taken that offer, something like that. This is also you doing things that you feel will be helpful to your process as well. I'm seeing a big heavy cycle is closing out for you. I'm seeing that you're really going to get moving here too. There's a sense of direction, things feeling solid. You also feeling like your energy is like all on the same page and moving. So this can feel like now it can feel like there's a sense of purpose and you know what you're doing with your energy and where it's going. And that's not so much of a question anymore, even though it could have been something where before you hadn't been feeling like that. Now this is feeling like, okay, I know what's happening now. I'm more familiar, I'm more aware, I'm more understanding for what this is. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.